Tennessee versus Vanderbilt. Tyler, I'll let you speak on this first.
Yeah, coming into this season, no one really thought of Vanderbilt to be much. Let's be real here. They were originally picked to hit 2.5 wins. That was their win total from Vegas. That was, I think the FPI actually had Vandy at 3-9. So I guess they had them a little bit above the win total. But I knew Vanderbilt was going to do a little bit better than 3-9. Didn't think they would go 6-5 though. Up to this point with that big win against Alabama, they also went to Auburn and Jordan Hare and pretty much whipped up on Auburn. They only won that game by 10, but they should have won that one by a little bit more. They also did the same thing to Kentucky. 3 SEC wins on the season. Have to give Clark Lee a lot of congrats and as well as a lot of credit there. He hit the portal really, really strong, obviously getting Diego Pavia, who is one of the rising stars of college football. It would be nice if he could come back next year, but it just won't happen, it looks like. But yeah, so this is an interesting line, and 11 is kind of a weird number in all of sports, really. Even in basketball, 11 is a number I try to stay away from. 11 and 9, those two kind of odd numbers there. Tennessee is getting Vandy is getting 11 points at home. I tend to believe this is going to be a really close game. This is basically Vanderbilt's Super Bowl, kind of like the Alabama game, but this means a little bit more. They haven't beaten Tennessee since I do believe 2017 when Butch Jones was head coach, and that was actually his last game for Tennessee when he lost to Vanderbilt. Got actually embarrassed there. So they haven't beaten them since 2017, and this one is for the playoffs for Tennessee. I like Vanderbilt to cover here, and boy, oh boy, if Tennessee is able to lose this game, there goes their playoffs, but their program as a whole. This would affect them, I think, relatively big. But I do like what I'm seeing from Vanderbilt's defensive front these past few weeks. They played pretty well against LSU. LSU just had more talent, kind of a similar situation. Oh, by the way, they did play at LSU. But I like Vanderbilt to cover here. There's something about this Vanderbilt team that is just, you don't really want to play them because of their style of football. They run that triple option RPO, obviously, as well as they add in Stowers. If they can get him going into this game, he's really their dark horse here for Vanderbilt. I do expect their defense to show up. And in the end, though, I think Tennessee is going to find a way to get it done. But don't be surprised if Vanderbilt is able to win this game. Give me the Vols. I'm going to go 24-20 on the road at Vandy. This is probably the most underrated game of the weekend.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited to watch this game. I think Vanderbilt's definitely going to compete with them. And I think 7 wins would, get up to that James Franklin era, which they haven't been up to since he's left. So it's definitely a mark they want to get to. I thought like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I thought their high water mark was going to be 7 wins. So I do think they can compete and win in this football game. I will say, I think this is going to be a very low scoring football game because I do think Tennessee's defense is elite. I think it's one of the 3 to 4 best in the SEC, probably one of the 5 or 6 best in all of the country. Vanderbilt, I don't know how they're going to be able to move the ball. They really only have a couple weapons. Eli Stowers at the tight end position, obviously Diego Pavia at quarterback. It's going to be very interesting how they decide to attack this Tennessee defense. I think it's going to be similar to the Texas game. They put up 20 or 17 points in that game or something of that nature. So I think they'll be around that number in this game as well. I'm going to take Vanderbilt to cover, but I'm going to take Tennessee to win. I think Tennessee wins this game. I'm going to say 23-17, 23-16, somewhere in that nature. So that also put you in the under. I'm pretty confident in the under. This is kind of similar to a couple games that we talked about last week where we're like, yeah, we're not sure about we're not sure about which side, but we definitely feel confident in the under. I feel pretty confident in this under, but I'm going to take Vanderbilt with the plus 11 points. I think that's too many points in this game.
And I agree. It's a rivalry game. This is the last weekend was an unexpected weekend with everything going on there. Kind of an appetizer for this weekend. And with what Vanderbilt has done thus far this season, every game has been close, with really the exception to the South Carolina game. They got just physically manhandled and dominated. You got to give South Carolina a lot of credit there. I think South Carolina won 28-7. Every other game, though, for Vanderbilt, that's 4 games in which that they've lost, were by, I think, 3 points or less. They lost to Texas by 3, lost to, Georgia State, they lost by 4. Lost to Missouri by 3 in overtime. And then last week against LSU, I think they lost by, 6 or 7 points there at LSU. So, yeah, I give a lot of credit and respect towards Clark Lee and what he's able to do. But, man, yeah, Diego Pavia is going to be the key of this game. He might even be the best player on the field, which is crazy for me to even say with how talented Tennessee is. But he's going to be the difference in this game. And if he's able to get it going for Vanderbilt, as well as the passing efficiency, because this is one of the most efficient passing offenses in college football, it's going to be a long day for Tennessee.
I completely agree, and it's going to be interesting. Vanderbilt obviously loves to run the football if they're going to be able to do that versus one of the best front sevens in the whole country. Tennessee's defense is fantastic just overall. They're basically top 10 in almost every statistic. So I don't know how successful Vanderbilt's offense can be here, but I think the number for me, if Vanderbilt gets across to win the football game, is 23 points. I think if they get over that number, to me, for whatever reason, I think they win the football game. Tennessee's defense is only giving up 14 points a game, so that's going to be a tough task to get to.